You gonna stop at everything, bud? Mark your territory all over the forest, man. You want everybody to know you here. What is poppin', everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going on another hike, and during this hike we are going to be discussing how to handle bear nuisance issues. We talked about this in the past, but that was focused on livestock and agricultural damage. Today we're going to go a little bit on a smaller scale and talk about home invasions, property damage, and things of that nature. And again, I'm going to tell you guys some stories that coincide with some of these topics, and will help you give a better picture of how these nuisance issues can occur and how you can mitigate the issues with the tips that I'm going to provide today. So like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. Our story starts off with a man making breakfast before work, as he usually does his per morning routine. And the way his house is set up, he kind of has, think of it like a screened in porch before you get into the actual house, which is where he usually has his breakfast. So he makes his breakfast, can't really remember what it was, you can use your imagination, and he puts it out. And he goes back into the house to get something. He left something. So within that, I don't know, 2 to 5 minute span of him going back inside the house to grab whatever he saw, before he entered the screened in porch, there is a bear right there, pushing its way through the screen door. Come on, boy. Go. Once the man comes back to the front door and he sees the bear, he immediately starts to panic, screaming at it, yelling at it. And the bear starts to walk towards him. So luckily he had a can of bear spray right by the door, but unfortunately in the process of trying to open the bear spray and spray the bear, he ended up spraying himself as well as the bear, which is unfortunate, but there was enough spray that the bear ingested some of it got into its sinuses, into his nose, into his mouth, which was enough to scare it off. And I'm sure the man screaming and yelling after he got the bear spray in his eyes also helped with that. So once the man gets himself together, he sees that the bear is still lurking around outside. So he takes a tennis ball launcher and he continues to go outside and fires a couple of tennis balls at the bear, and he continues to yell and scream until the bear runs off the property. Once the bear is off the property, he calls the proper authorities, and a trap is set on the property because it was classified as a home entry. That is a behavior that we do not want bears to repeat for obvious reasons, because these wild animals, they learn through experiences. So the more positive experiences they have entering homes, being rewarded for entering homes by getting food or shelter or whatever they were looking for, is how the habituation continues to evolve. So the trap was set on the property for about a week. It's always important to quickly get a trap out, because that increases the success rate of you capturing that bear. Because if a bear was successful by any means of its objective on your property, whether that was to get food, shelter, it will more than likely return for that same source of food or same source of shelter. So the quicker you can get a trap out there, or the quicker you can implement these hazing tactics to kind of give that bear a negative experience, the better. So the trap was set for a week, but unfortunately they were unsuccessful in capturing this bear. Now the trap was removed, and about 2 days after the trap was removed, the bear returned. Now, once the bear returns, kind of the same situation happens. It goes through that screened-in porch area again. There was an unwelcome mat placed on the steps, but however, again, this is why it's so important to get the proper measurements and make sure that there's no other access points for that bear to get to where it's trying to get to. So there were unwelcome mats placed on the steps, but the bear was able to go around that and just go straight up on the patio into the house, which it forced its way into by pushing the screen door open. And luckily, again, the man was home, so he was able to respond fairly quickly this time, getting a good dose of bear spray into the bear this time without spraying himself. So that was the situation, right? There were several times that this man implemented the type of tactics that we would suggest in a situation where you are encountering nuisance issues with the bear. So one, he did the hazing tactics, both physical and auditory. He hit it with bear spray, physical. He shot tennis balls at it, physical. He screamed at it, he yelled at it, made a big commotion, auditory hazing. So those are some of the things that we want you to implement. Now, the bear did leave the first time, but it returned. Why did it return, right? We said that these are ways that these are tips that you can use to help mitigate the nuisance issues. But again, all bears are different, all situations are different. Their level of habituation that they're at is also different. It's real close. So yes, the level of habituation that these bears are at also plays a huge factor on how effective these tactics are going to be. Now, that doesn't mean you should not implement them, because these bears have had several experiences, positive experiences on properties that's made them so confident and bold to do these actions. So it may take a while, it may take several instances for that bear to start to realize this is not a safe place for me to be. People are not food sources. Let me stay away from them, which is our end goal. So you have to continuously implement these hazing tactics, whether they're successful the first, the second, or the third time, because again, doing nothing is your worst option, right? Because that just hardens the positive experience that this bear is having. You're not scaring it off. You're not making it difficult for this bear in any way, shape, or form, which is also going to increase the likelihood that that bear will return. Now, let's break down this story a little bit. It's more than likely that that bear was called or attracted to the man's property from the food he was cooking. People forget how powerful bears' sense of smell is. They can smell food from miles away. So whether that bear was close in the proximity to the house or quite a ways away, it was able to smell this food, and that food enticed it and attracted it to the man's property. So something you can keep in mind this spring and this summer, if you're going to be cooking food and grilling, which we have to do to survive, just keep in mind if your windows are open, and if you're keeping your windows open, let's say for example, a lot of times bears will smell food through the window or through a screen door, and that is their access point. They will find where the smell is coming through the strongest, and it's usually an open window or open screen door, which essentially is nothing to a bear. They can just push right through there and go and investigate the smell, this enticing smell that is attracting them to your property. So what do, right? You want to cook, you want to grill. How do you lessen the likelihood of you attracting a bear? Implement the bleach and ammonia tactics, which are not deterrents, but they are strong scents that will mask usually whatever you're trying to cover up, whether that's your cooking, the stench from your garbage can, whatever it is. You can usually use bleach or ammonia, not together of course. I've also been told that coffee beans might work, so sometimes don't stay exactly to what I'm saying. Use your imagination. If you can figure out something else that works better for your bear in your situation, then use that. Safety is always the most important thing, right? We don't want to get ourselves hurt, we don't want to hurt anyone else, and we don't want to kill these bears. So safety is always important on all levels. Now, it's important that I noted in the story that the man did use an unwelcome mat, or tried to utilize unwelcome mats in the way of steps that led up to that screened-in area. He did not take into consideration that the bear could go and climb directly on the deck and avoid the steps. So that's just some things that you need to consider. If I am trying to prevent a bear from gaining access to this particular point, what other access points may the bear investigate to try and give it access to where it's trying to get to? So I would say get the measurements first before you invest in the plywood. That way you know exactly how much plywood you need, how many nails you need. The placement of the nails is also important, right? You don't want to have the nails too spaced out. That way the bear can just step on it and there's space enough for its paw to safely touch the pad and not the nails. Because bears have sensitive paws, so they're very cautious about where they place them. That's why a lot of times when people see bears, they're doing that slow walk, kind of filling out the area in front of them because of that sensitivity in their paws. Now, someone may be in a place in the country where they have a bear hunting season, and you could easily solve your issue by dispatching that bear if it was hunting season. So that's always an option too. But for people that live in a state like I do, where there is no hunting season, you have to be very creative on how you're going to resolve your bear issues. This is how he gets when he finds a stick. Come on, Rudy. Come on. This way. Come on, boy. Good boy. Get up there. Get up. Come on. Up. Not a boy. Come on, Hey, you got tangled up. Be careful. This way. Come on, front, center, center. Good boy. No, 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 no. You got a stick. Rudy. Rudy. Stop. Hey, 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 come here, come here, come here, come here. Sit, sit. Come here, come here, come here. Sit, sit. Good boy. Good boy. Come on. Calm down. When your dog gets the zoomies in the woods. Man, it's a lot better when it's approaching 6 o'clock and it doesn't look like midnight. Gives me more time to be out here with you, right, Roo? Alright. I guess he's not messing with me right now because I took that stick from him, but all is all well. It's a beautiful day out. Food that's inside of the garbage can or the bird feeder, but my suggestions for that, just take the bird feeder down. If you're not willing to do that, then look into some natural plants and shrubs that you can grow that will feed the birds and not attract the bears. And in regards to the garbage can, there's a couple of things that you can do. You can invest into a bear-proof garbage can. There are many different models. I would choose the one that makes the most sense for you. If you don't want to buy a bear-proof garbage can, you can always make one with simple tools from Home Depot or Tractor Supply. If those aren't options for you, you can always stick with bleach and ammonia, masking that scent of whatever is in the garbage can. And you can also try and put the garbage can in the garage or in the shed until the morning of pickup. That wraps up today's video. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you learned something new. And if you did, comment, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell to be notified next time I post, and you guys can come on my next adventure with me. But until then, peace out.